Can you smell that? It smells like ALPP! Guys, ALPP had their earnings report today. It is out. We are going to go through it all. I'm very excited. They've got a lot of news. There is so much to cover. The stock has sold off. What is going on? Well, we're going to cover it all in this video. So make sure to stick around, watch this the whole way through, and hopefully we are going to have a great time. And a big thumbs up to all of you ALPP shareholders out there. Go down there and smash like on this button for me. And if you are new, then welcome to this family of investors. My name is Jason. Be sure to hit that big red subscribe button because I am the only person on YouTube that covers this stock inside out every single week with any news that does come out. So you will be part of the ALPP official family. So just before we dive into Alpine 4, I want to point out this really useful information because so many of you guys are like, why is the NASDAQ not here? Why is it taking so long? Well, there is a company on Twitter, and again, this is called the Where's Food Comes From, also the Very Good Food Company, guys, and it says that they are pleased, obviously this happened 2 days ago, to announce the uplisting of their common stock onto the NASDAQ. Now, they applied for this 19 weeks ago, so this was much longer than ALPP, and this information was brought to me by a lovely young man called JCE, so thank you so much for sharing that with me. So guys, don't panic because again, a lot of people are thinking, why is the NASDAQ not happening? There are still companies out there that have been waiting even longer than ALPP, and they have only just announced their NASDAQ uplisting in the last few days. So guys, it just goes to show that patience will pay off, and there's been no change. He has said it himself inside the article that we are going to dive through in just a second, that they are looking forward to that future NASDAQ uplisting, which I will get to at the end of the video. So guys, it is really, really exciting, and there's lots of promising things to come for this company. So let's dive into the report. So guys, we are up on the Twitter page, and you can see that ALPP just 6 hours ago did post, obviously, their earnings. So did they do good or did they do bad? Well, it says here that ALPP Holdings reported 33.5 million in revenue for 2020, and that is a 19% growth over 2019, and expects to report shareholder equity growth of 40 million in Q1 of 2021. So that's still another positive moving forward for the company, and anything above 20%, guys, is in fact a very good number, and that's something that we should always look for in the stock market, something that is growing at 20% or more every single year, because that is going to allow us to have those gains on our account. So we know how much they've grown in revenue, so I'm going to skip that part, but Kent has said, dear shareholders, I will also add that our revenue should have grown to 47 million, which would have been a 64% growth over 2019, but of course the Rona and the pandemic had other plans for the global outlook, which had in fact dampened their business. Otherwise, guys, they would have had a much better year. Now, it does go on to talk a lot about this inside the article, and it says how basically the Rona had affected the business moving forward, but because they were able to do a capital raise at the beginning of this year, which I will go through in just a second, they are now taking on new employees, and there is some news again about the NASDAQ that is coming up. The Kent has said there are times in life where what you do in the now has a significant impact on your journey, and 2020 certainly did bring on great challenges for their community, family and business of Alpine 4. They did everything that they could to make sure that all of their employees were safe by purchasing obviously 10,000 masks, and again they had 293 employees, and they didn't want to obviously get rid of anyone, so they managed to keep 95% of their employees, and they now have 278. And he said that they rode through 2020 with that 95% retained workforce. Achieving this employee retention was not an easy feat. Our revenue was off by over 26%, and if you analyze our combined revenue from newly acquired subsidiaries, Excel Fabrications and Deluxe Sheet Metals, not accounted for in 2019, the decision to retain our employees did not have consequences. So this is really good news because it means that they are still all together, and he is doing everything he can to keep the company in good stead, despite the fact that the Rona did have a big impact on their business. Now, it's very clear that they also work like a family. This is a very, very tight business, and I can imagine that this is a really great group of humans, obviously working with all of their subsidiaries. Now, they have an excellent team, and this is what I think makes a great leading CEO. And obviously they have Kent, and Kent is going to be an amazing influence, obviously moving the price of Alpine forward to new highs over the course of the future, because he is concentrated on that, and if he is sure to look after his employees like family, guys, then I'm sure he's going to do the same for us shareholders. So that is why I am invested in ALPP. As financially painful as this employee retention was, we never lost sight of our employees and the backbone of our company. So he says here that our decision to do whatever it took to keep our employees will pay huge dividends in 2021 and 2022 with the current US-based labour pool experiencing momentum shortages. Alpine 4 will have the ability to meet growing demand for our customers, giving us a unique advantage over the competition. I am very pleased to say that the Q2 of 2021, the company will begin to post sales revenue that exceeds the Rona's revenue. So this is great news. And he says here, when you combine the cost-cutting measures that they had in Q1, the exercise they did in Q2 and Q3 of 2020, and of course the 50 million capital raise that they did at the beginning of this year, they have now paid off all of their debts of 14 million, and profitability is forthcoming, as he says, and the company looks as healthy as it has ever been. And the good news, guys, that I wanted to read you is down here. He said that I am pleased to continue and announce that in 2021 we were able to execute large capital raise that fundamentally strengthened the company, and we accomplished this through 5 strategic institutional investment groups to raise over $50 million. The capital raise does so much more than add cash to our financial statements, has reduced the burden of their debt, and again it has allowed them to infuse cash to empower them to have a strategic purchase time sensitivity to new materials and hire new employees, and also finally make capital investments that will also add to their product offering. So this is obviously some good insights there again. And he says that their shareholder equity was negative 8.7 million, and then this is now turned around to a positive 40 million. So they've had a lot of interest obviously in this stock, because people like us are in fact now holding ALPP inside our portfolio. And he says, all of this being said, we look back at 2020 as a year of significant change for Alpine 4, but these changes pale in comparison to the fundamental changes that have occurred in 2021. We are undeniably in a new position of strength from a financial structure standpoint, and we will be a force to be reckoned with as continued to implement our DSF business model, and we begin to trade on the NASDAQ. Best regards, Kent. So they are in fact looking for that NASDAQ uplisting. So guys, we just have to be patient. Like I've said before, it's out of our control. Kent is out of his control. We have to wait for the NASDAQ team to get back to Kent, and it could be obviously another few weeks. I think that, like I said, they're on about week 11 or 12, and that other company got NASDAQ just 2 days ago, and they were in fact waiting for 19 weeks. So I think Rona has obviously impacted so much around the world right now globally, and that's why we have to unfortunately sit on our hands. And even though we had a good earnings report, guys, it wasn't like we were losing revenue and everything was going down. You know, they reported many good things moving forward. They said they are a force to be reckoned with. There's so many good things coming for the company, and they are in fact coming onto the NASDAQ at some point, hopefully in the few weeks ahead. But we even saw a sell-off today in that share price of 8%. So it just goes to show how volatile the markets are right now, guys. So if you are someone that cannot stomach volatility, then ALPP is definitely not the stock for you. At these prices, I think they are extremely attractive. You can see that we have tested here 4 times before, and this is a massive layer right now of support. You can see on here every single arrow. That is 1, 2, 3. There's actually 5 because there's another one here. So there's 5 areas of support, guys. So what usually happens is buyers enter the market here and they say no, and then they start to obviously come back into the market, and we see that upside of around $4.50 to $5. So that is something that I'm just showing you as a support and resistance from a technical standpoint. So I think that these are good levels, and again, I think if you are someone that is maybe holding up here, then this could be a nice chance to in fact average down, because we do think even if we do see volatility downwards, we are going to see these prices once the NASDAQ does come onto effect and we have that uplisting happen. So that wraps up this video, guys. I hope that you did enjoy this ALPP. Don't forget to show me some love, hit that like button, go down there, write ALPP in the comments, and I love hearing from all of you guys. Hit subscribe and join this family of investors. If you would like to know what I'm buying and selling in real time, then I will leave a link to the description to the Patreon, so you guys can join below. There's only about 3 slots left now for the lifetime subscription on the price of a cup of coffee, so be sure to check that out if you are someone that wants my buy and sell alerts. I look forward to seeing you guys back on my channel soon for some more content on investing. Stay safe out there, traders, and I'll see you guys soon. Ciao.